committee will come to order. Without objection, the chair may declare a recess at any time. Today, we come together to discuss the intelligence community's 2024 annual threat assessment. We begin with an open session that is being broadcast live and streamed on the committee's YouTube channel. The open session is entirely unclassified. All participants are reminded to refrain from discussing classified information or other information protected from public disclosure. Upon the conclusion of the open session, we will recess and resume for the closed session in the committee hearing room at 2 p.m. or immediately following the first vote series, currently scheduled from 1:30 to 2:10. It is the intention of the committee to proceed with this hearing without any disruptions. Any disruption of the committee will result in the United States Capitol Police restoring order, and the protesters will be removed and arrested. It is my pleasure to welcome a renowned group of intelligence community leaders. During today's proceedings, we will hear from the Honorable Avril Haines, Director of National Intelligence, the Honorable William Burns, Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, the Honorable Christopher Wray, Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, General Timothy Hawk, Director of the National Security Agent and Commander of the U.S. Cyber Command, and Lieutenant General Jeffrey Cruz, Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. I want to pause for just a minute to give my personal thanks to Director Burns and to Director Haines and the manner in which you've worked with this committee over the past over a year now in both a bipartisan way, working with Jim Himes, myself, and all of our members, making certain that we have the information that we need and being available for discussions on important issues. I greatly appreciate your contributions to the success of this committee, and I wanted to recognize that. The annual threat assessment hearing provides the intelligence community an opportunity to update Congress and the American people on serious threats to our national security. The intelligence community exists to protect the American people by informing policy and decision makers of the threats posed to national security, which includes critical infrastructure, economic security, cybersecurity, food security, and several other components of national security. Each year, the world evolves, growing more interdependent. Our adversaries are aligning, and emerging technologies are changing the operational environment. We are in the midst of a shifting geopolitical landscape with strategic competition at the forefront. Now more than at any other time, at least not since the Cold War, nation-state threats are dominating the United States' national security concerns. Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran are anti-American and working together domestically, regionally, and internationally. These common adversaries have overlapping interests and approaches. Example includes Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Hamas's attack on Israel, and continued Iranian proxy assaults in the region, and the People's Republic of China's regular military show of force threatening Taiwan. Also concerning is Pyongyang's recent tests of the North Korean intercontinental ballistic missile Hwasong. Based on the missile's flight data, South Korea and Japanese assets are at risk, and it has the potential range of striking the United States. This is a flagrant violation of United Nations Security Council resolutions. Over the last year, the committee has conducted numerous engagements, both in and beyond the SCIF. One area that seems fragmented and vague is the foreign-domestic divide. There are heightened threats at the border, and the homeland is under constant assault, whether it be from cyber attacks, counterintelligence threats, or foreign malign influence. What is not clear is how the intelligence community communicates those threats to other federal, state, local, tribal, or private sector partners. The lack of clarity on this issue raises the question of whether the federal government is organized appropriately and prepared to defend the United States against the kinds of threats the American people face from our foreign adversaries here. On more than one occasion, some of you have publicly warned of threats to homeland security from the People's Republic of China. The PRC is compromising and maintaining persistent access to U.S. critical infrastructure. As stated in an unclassified cybersecurity advisory published to the public last month, the PRC is targeting and has already compromised telecommunications, energy, transportation, and water sectors. To quote this advisory, in some cases, the cyber actors have been living inside information technology networks for years to pre-position for disruptive or destructive cyber attacks in the event of a major crisis or conflict with the United States. Remember, the advisory states that this actively has been going on for years. And that really is, I think, the threat that we need to rise to, is an understanding that this is not a new phenomenon of the PRC targeting assets and infrastructure of the United States. In addition to prepositioning in critical infrastructure, China seeks to be a world power in science and technology by any means possible. This poses a significant counterintelligence threat to the United States and allied partners. China is attempting to advance as a technology superpower by offering investment and acquiring or stealing intellectual property in fields like power and energy, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, agriculture, quantum computing, and semiconductors. Russia continues an unjust war against Ukraine's sovereignty, bolstering its defense production by leveraging relationships with China and Iran. We should not forget that North Korean munitions factories are supplying Russia with weapons and artillery shells to use against Ukraine. We look forward to further insights on Russia's nuclear posture, directed energy weapons, anti-satellite capabilities in space, and ground-based anti-satellite missiles designed to target U.S. and allied satellites. Iran, who is also benefiting from closer ties with China and Russia, has built and funded a network of proxies to promote Iran's regional objectives. Iran supported Hamas's attack on Israel and continues to back Hamas. Iran provides weapons and intelligence for terrorist attacks on U.S. personnel, installations in the region, and terrorist attacks on the global supply chain transiting the Red Sea. Last year, during the annual threat assessment hearing, I set forth the committee's plan for the reauthorization of FISA, Section 702. An immense amount of committee work has gone into our bill reforming FISA. We produced a strong bill that puts in place the appropriate compliance guardrails and provides the tools necessary to protect our country. We know the importance of this authority, and we know the danger to America and our allies if the intelligence community does not have the capability to produce intelligence from FISA 702 collection. There is a perceived lack of accountability that is the most troubling aspect for Congress and the American public to trust the intelligence community, and that the intelligence community is doing the right thing, reporting wrongdoing, taking responsibility, correcting actions, and monitoring actions. That is why our FISA bill aggressively reforms the FISA process to address past abuses. In the face of all these challenges, the intelligence community's core mission stands, which is to identify foreign threats and provide warning to protect Americans. Our committee oversight work takes this very seriously, and we continually examine areas for improvement and provide bipartisan legislative solutions when needed. Today, you will hear questions from our members on various interest areas, and to be respectful of everyone's time, I ask that all of you be direct and succinct. With that, I look forward to hearing the answers from our esteemed panel, and I recognize my ranking member, Jim Himes, for his opening remarks.